This is the December 1st, 2022 work session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who is joining us in the audience and on Zoom webinar. At this time, I ask everyone to please mute your devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There'll be one opportunity during this meeting for public comment, and we will advise you at the appropriate time. Linda, please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the November 23rd, 2022 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Great, thank you. And Linda, please conduct the roll call.
Councilwoman Homan. Here. Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Here.
Councilman O'Connell.
Here.
Councilman O'Toole.
Here.
Councilman Sasso.
Here.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Here.
Mayor Bernstein.
Here. For me, perhaps certainly the highlight of the work session. We're going to get right to what's the highlight for me and perhaps for all of us. Proclamation honoring Taylor Holmes, winner of the MLB Pitch, Hit and Run Softball Division Championship.
Oh.
So Councilman O'Toole, I guess we both saw it at the same time, and he emailed me or called me and said, we have to bring her in, we have to honor her. And so if you would please come forward, and your family, you know, if you can flank her if you'd like, and come on forward, come in front of us. So I'm going to read the proclamation about what you did, but welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I don't know whether to read the proclamation first or so I'll read the proclamation and then we'll get to ask you about it. Okay.
Do you know what a proclamation is? Maybe you could tell her what a proclamation is.
So,
I'd be like, what is this thing?
So we're honoring you, and I, as the mayor, I don't get to do a lot of things, and I don't have a lot of authority. But one of the, as I've been told, but one of the things I do get to do is to honor people and read proclamations. And we've honored different boards for their service to Allendale. We've honored people. We've honored the chief. We've honored police officers when they do things in the line of duty, which is heroic, etc. What you did was amazing. What you did was really so worthy of acknowledging and putting you for tonight on a pedestal and telling you how proud we are of you and how proud the borough is of you. So I'll read the proclamation and then we can talk about it. Proclamation in honor of Taylor Holmes. Whereas 9-year-old Allendale student Taylor Holmes won MLB Pitch, Hit and Run Softball Division Championship at Minute Maid Park in Houston between World Series games on November 4th. And whereas Taylor was the youngest ever to win the 9-10 softball division of the MLB Pitch, Hit and Run National Championship. And whereas to win, Taylor ran 90 feet in 4.6 seconds, batted 4 out of 5 balls, 150 feet in the air, and threw 4 out of 5 pitches on target, including 2 bullseyes. And whereas the Brookside School 4th grader represented the Philadelphia Phillies with 3 other division winners at the finals. And whereas Taylor's parents and brother Ben, is that Ben in the back? Right? Brought her good luck as they cheered her on. And whereas Taylor won by 10 points and will be honored at a Phillies game next spring. And whereas Taylor placed 3rd in the 7/8 division finals last year at Truist Park in Atlanta. And whereas Taylor's skill building began as a way to pass the time during the isolation days of COVID, and her parents built a batting cage for Taylor in her backyard. And whereas Taylor's favorite activities besides softball is hanging with friends, making videos, art, and drawing. And whereas Taylor's favorite subject in school is writing, and her favorite thing about Allendale is walking to the library after school. And whereas Taylor is an all-around athlete who plays soccer as well as softball at the rec, travel, and club levels. Now, therefore, I, Ari Bernstein, Mayor of Allendale, do hereby recognize Taylor Holmes for her tremendous hard work, training, and dedication that led her to this great accomplishment. So enough from me. Tell us how did you get involved? How did you do it? And what were you feeling like when you were doing it?
So there were like these different like levels of how we get there. So first we started off in like a nearby town. Like I think it was in Glenrock, right? Bridgewood, yeah. And they would and I first competed there, and then they would take the top four or five out of there, that national place or that local place, and put it and bring us to Philadelphia Phillies Stadium,
Right.
where we would compete. And then whoever won had a shot to go to the finals in Houston. And so they took the top four out of the country for each age division and brought us to Houston to all compete. And I was really nervous.
Right. So did you know, so that the competition, the final day, was that one day or that was over a period of time?
That was one day.
And what were you feeling like that day?
I was confident for the hitting and running, but for the pitching, I was like, I missed it.
Right.
But you still hit 2 bullseyes.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
That's
So what teams do you play on?
I play on the Highlands Fire
Right.
rec team, which hasn't started yet.
Right.
I do Highlands Fire travel, and then I do Pride club team.
That's wonderful. That's great. Anyone else?
You're even cuter in person.
Well, I just want to say that we're super, super, super proud of you. It's such a great accomplishment. The fact that you did something nice and healthy and during COVID and used that opportunity to build your skills, I think is awesome. I made pizza pie crust for 6 months.
But that's what I think too, that it's so great that you picked something to work on during COVID, because it definitely was a time where, right, it was hard to find things to do.
Yeah, and all of us are sports fans, and I had a softball player, and I know the mayor had a softball player. We all did, and so the rec program's great in town too. So we're super happy that you're involved in all that, and keep up the good work and keep us posted.
The high school probably can't wait to get you up there.
I know. Make sure you go to Highlands.
Yeah.
This is what I read. This is something like that. It's a proclamation in honor of you. And we'll post it on our borough webpage. We'll put it up
So
there.
cute.
If you don't mind taking a picture with me, we'll post that as well. Okay. You come around here. And
The only one that stays without a daughter.
should I get lower so you know that's
I'm the only
Wait,
one
I'm
that
not
stays.
sure.
It's so smoky in the fireplace.
Speaking of,
You want to with the whole family and Ben too?
Mom, your flash is on.
I never do either. I would say, hey Siri, turn the flashlight off. She was like, there's no button for it. Oh, now it's right there, but it's not there all the time. It's not there all the time.
kids, you know, they don't, not always that friendly or socially awkward, but he goes, "Oh, Mr. Sassen," and I didn't recognize him. He's got something.
We'll send these off.
Oh, I'm just reading some video.
Yay.
Got my wall. Oh, entire house. You have no pool, I guess. Like, hey, I didn't recognize you got so big. I just was impressed by that. Most of the time I get sometimes when my son.
Gotta do it.
Congrats.
Gotta do it. That was- I mean, that's amazing.
Support our young kids.
Yeah, right. I guess.
So I'm gonna have to-
Matt, thank you for all your help in making it happen.
Hey, Matt.
Okay. Public comment. This is the first of three opportunities tonight for the public present to comment. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come to the microphone at the podium and state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the governing body.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Congratulations
Thank you.
again. Not seeing anyone. Administration, tonight our regular session agenda consists of approval of the October 13, October 27, and November 17th work and regular session minutes. Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 22-15. Introduction of ordinance 22-16 and is now during agenda review. Can I go over that now?
Sure.
Okay, so what was, I think this may have been posted on the website yesterday or today. We're trying to get in today so that we can have the second reading at the 15th, on the 15th. What was posted on the website, Attorney Raywis and I went over it and we tweaked 3 areas. So I just want to go over them briefly. So one, the mayor, so the council knows what you're voting on and the public hears that as well. In section 1, establishment of position, we have changed that to read, the position of fire administrator is hereby established under the direction of the mayor and council. The fire administrator shall perform the duties enumerated below and shall report to the director of operations. So the language that was there previously, we thought was a little too much and perhaps was ambiguous or not clear enough as to what the role of the fire administrator was, and we've narrowed it down to what we think is more appropriate language. In section 2G, we are changing it just with little language, but I wanted to go over in G. It's now going to read, assist the fire chief in matters relating to the members of the fire department. So we clean that up a little bit. And in I, that will, as revised, will read, provide advice to the mayor, public safety committee, borough council, borough attorney, and director of operations regarding departmental matters. So what you're going to be voting on is as amended, as I just discussed. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. We will also have 9 resolutions on the consent agenda and closed session, pending litigation, current tax appeal. So when we're done with the regular session, we'll go into closed session. Does anyone have any questions or would like to comment on the agenda items? Not seeing anyone. Why don't we start with council reports, Councilman Ed O'Connell.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're
I'll be
welcome.
quick. Leaf pickup's still going on and the DPW is getting geared up for snow, hoping that they don't see any. With that being said, I'd like to congratulate the water team and especially Councilwoman Holman for the sale of the water sale and hope the Highlands do well this Saturday at Rutgers. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman. Councilman, Steve Sasso.
Parks, Rec, and Facilities. Facilities are in good hands, always with Mr. Kistner. And it's not really Park and Rec season right now, so things are pretty quiet. And I would just like to also give congratulations to Councilwoman Homan, having served on the Water Committee with her, and not to take away from anybody involved with this process, but it would not have happened the way it happened without Liz, I can tell you that. And I'm not trying to flatter her.
You can flatter her.
Her husband's a lot taller than me anyway. So, but it was great. So congratulations, Liz, and that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Council President Amy Wazinski, would you like to give your report?
Sure. So the budget is in really good shape as we approach the end of the year. As far as 220, we are still navigating through legal documents. We have another marathon meeting tomorrow, all hands meeting with both teams. If you remember, this is the front building, which is 220, which is going to be comprised of the community center as well as 70 units. Once we close on that, the demo will begin. There's already been fencing and some of the equipment's been mobilized to start with the asbestos abatement. And the demo will hopefully happen by the end of this year. And we actually are aiming for December 15th meeting to have some of these documents on the calendar. It may be very ambitious, but we are going to go for it. So regarding the water, about 4 years ago, we kind of had this, before PFAS was a name, a household name, there was this kind of strange report that talked about this agent that a resident brought up to Liz. And from there, it was,
Must
you know,
remember who they
this
are.
whirlwind of just completely researching and taking a deep dive into what really has now become a household name is PFAS. And she really did research everything, every single option. She went to mayor's meetings. She talked to experts in the field. She talked to different municipalities. She went to seminars, and in the fashion of my friend Liz, she really did educate herself and left no stone unturned for this borough. I mean, it was literally years of work. And then came the presentation. So once we realized that there was something that we were going to have to do with our water system, not only do we have these emerging contaminants that were coming, and we knew that we didn't have the proper equipment, we didn't have a proper staff, but we also had an aging system that we were dealing with. So there was a bunch of different scenarios that we had to go through. And for about a year, we went through them, and we actually went through them live with the residents of Allendale. So there were PowerPoint presentations once a month for, gosh, I don't know, probably a year, and slowly going through every single option that we had. And I remember the one slide where we had the WIPA was one option, and then we crossed that out. So there was definitely a lot of scenarios that we could have went with. And then it became eminent that selling the system was really the best option, you know, for Allendale. And we wanted the residents to be part of that. And so we had a referendum, and the referendum was overwhelmingly, in support of it. So not only that, though, the fact that the sale was not imminent was such an important part, I think, in this whole process, because we could have easily taken the easy way out and just said, we're selling the system. But that wasn't the case. Liz made sure that all this research was done, and Suez was watching. And I can say this now that we have the money in the bank, but they were watching, and they knew that we were looking to potentially, maybe do a shared service with another municipality, potentially, doing it ourselves. Like, we were going through all these scenarios, and we were a really, really important piece, a linchpin for Suez in the sale with other sales. I mean, this is really going to be a catalyst for them. So we received an exorbitant amount of money, and money was definitely not the driving force of it, but because of this and because all the work, they wanted us. They wanted us very badly. So we received $18 million, and I'm telling you right now, other towns are not going to be receiving that. And you just watch, because other towns are already reaching out to Liz to ask her for her expertise. I think she should become a paid consultant, quite frankly, because I don't think anybody knows more about PFAS and all these other contaminants than she does. But because of all this, we really had an advantage, and that's why we got that money that we're getting, and that's going to be very, very significant. It's going to cover all of our debt, which is about, I don't know, $14 million. So it's going to wipe out that, which is our number one, or actually number two item in our budget. So we were ahead of the curve. You'll see in the papers now, a lot of municipalities are going through the same thing. And honestly, I know she had a team, and she'll say she had a team, but it was really Liz Homan who completely led and made this all happen. So, and go Highlands. That's my report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Councilman O'Toole?
Thank you. Public Safety has a meeting on Tuesday. We'll be getting together with everyone to go over some things. Borough Emergency Services are working together to ensure a safe holiday celebration tomorrow night with the holiday walk. Police Department working with Public Safety Committee to prepare a fiscally responsible 2023 budget. So we've already started looking at those items. And the chief, in conjunction with the CFO, is finalizing a plan to replace antiquated parking meters with a pay by text option. So things are rolling along. Yay, Liz, go Highlands. I'm out.
Great, thank you. Councilwoman Lovasolo?
Our land use committee has not met since we met November 14th, but we're due to meet again on December 21st. As a reminder, the committee meets the morning of land use board meetings. Just to kind of piggyback on something Ed had mentioned, the curbside fall leaf pickup of the bagged leaves are this week and next week. This week, the leaf for West Side, next week for East Side. And there's this great section, and thanks Amy for working on it too, in our newsletter John Gill, on why Allendale bags our leaves. And so if residents continue to have questions to wonder why we don't have the sort of swoop up, put your leaves on your curb and in the street that some other towns have. There's 10 reasons why in our newsletter. So just look to that for a reference. And just to also, I have to congratulate my friend and fellow councilwoman, Liz Homan. And congrats to, truthfully, our borough on this monumental sale. I was really proud to be her second on this committee. And I just also want to thank the incredible team of professionals we had on the water team. And Ray, you were a big part of that too. So thank you. This is a great week. Go Highlands.
All right, I guess I need to go.
Right. Without further ado.
So I'm super happy that I got to go last, and thank you, Amy, for giving a great summary. Although I really don't want to, obviously I'm being thanked a lot, and that's wonderful, but it really is a team effort. And without our professionals and kind of them, listening to what some ideas that I've had and coaching and counseling and people recommending advisors that we've had. Ryan Skirbo came in at Mike Freeland, our borough engineers request. And we really were thorough and we were methodical. And we did do a really good job. And, I think I want to say in my report that we're pleased to announce that the completion of the sale of Allendale's water system to Veolia, who is a global leader in water and waste and energy management. So I am so proud of our team and the sale of the water system that the residents did support. And that was super important as we as a team talked, that we wanted to make sure that residents understood why we were doing this, because it was our water system. Oftentimes, you want to hold on to things, but the analysis was done, and with in placing, regulatory and treatment protocols, we realized that we did have to do something to continue to provide Allendale residents with safe drinking water in an economical fashion. And so, the financial, as Amy said, is wonderful, but I would never want it in the books that, that was the driving factor. Really, the driving factor was the complexity under which the management of water now stands in the United States. So while everybody's thanking me again, I thank all of you. I'm sure sometimes I was very torturous. Say no.
No.
But it really was great. And we do still have work to do. Certainly, sales are not 100% complete. Many times when they're complete, we still have to collect some easements and do some other work. So the professional team with the water committee will continue to put together some documents, and Ray, I'm sure in his reports will say that the meetings continue.
Not till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, though.
Yes, exactly. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, another meeting. So, and I want to, the next thing that I'm going to share is important because it really is meaningful as to what is happening with water everywhere. That, last meeting, I reported that Allendale had not had any violation notices. And I had advised that Veolia was currently in discussion about well 11 and third quarter testing results, because the way that these PFAS contaminants are looked are on running annual averages. And that well had been turned off for a little while because it had been damaged in the storm. And then we tried to keep it off as long as we could because we knew those numbers were going up. However, with the demand of water, even on water restrictions in third quarter, as I said last time, we used 2 million gallons of water a day. Our system has to pull water from that well in order to meet that demand, or the system will depressurize, which would cause a situation where you'd have to have a boil water advisory. So that well was turned on. I was informed by Veolia that the DEP has determined that we will have a third quarter violation for PFOA. So there will be letters that will be sent out sometime, I believe, the week of the 10th, right? Is that a Monday? So, Veolia has been aggressively pursuing temporary treatment to be installed both at New Street as well as at Well 11, which is on West Crescent. And these things are challenging, and they have applications in at the NJDEP. So the sale was a really smart thing to do. The Well 11 is currently off because our water demand is not as high. The plan is to have that temporary treatment at Well 11 by, May, when we would need to have the water from that well again. So I feel really relieved that we have Veolia working towards that. And then New Street, I don't know exactly when the temporary will be completed. But then over the next 3 to 4 years, we will have permanent treatment at New Street. So again, it's definitely just an illustration of a win, not what we wanted to have to do, but that's my water report. But I will say just thank you to everybody for the support and for helping communicate to the residents, because I think we couldn't have done it if everybody wasn't talking to their neighbors, their friends, residents, teammates. So thank you. And I get to work at Highland, so I get to see all the football players and wish them good luck, but they're great school. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I have a couple minutes. I can get my report in, but before I do, as I said yesterday when we had the ceremonial signing, as I said to the press, as I said to Deb Vile, as I've said to everyone, thank you. What you did was wonderful. I was a part of it. What everyone said here was true. We had a great team. We have a great team. The committee was great. The professionals, Ray, Ryan, etc. Everyone did what they needed to do. It was a joint collective journey that I was proud and honored to be a part of. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have a couple minutes I can get in my part, the mayor's report, which the upcoming events. Matt, did you discuss the holiday walk?
I mentioned it, yeah.
Okay, so that is tomorrow from 6 to 8, holiday cheer shopping and a visit from Santa. Did you discuss holiday gift giving the next day? It's holiday observers. I thought you'd be all over that.
That is not until the 10th.
Okay, holiday observers, holiday gift giving for Allendale children, grades pre-K through 8th grade is Saturday, December 10th from 1 to 4 at the town square. Santa will be riding the Allendale fire truck, and donations are being accepted for the Center for Food Action. Did I get that right? Okay. Winter Wonderland tree lighting ceremony at Van Saun Park in Paramus has been moved to Sunday, December 11th at 5:30. While you're there, you check out Allendale's tree. And
I got to see some of the decorations.
many thanks to Amanda Richards, John Gill, and Lissa Mayer for decorating for our town. And on Wednesday, December 21st at 6 p.m., Valley Chabad and the Borough of Allendale invite you to the Hanukkah celebration and public menorah lighting that takes place at Borough Hall. So 2 minutes.
Probably won't get through all this, that point, just call it.
Okay. Good. So why don't I motion to adjourn the works. The time is now 8 p.m. and this is the December 1st, 2022 regular session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who is joining us in person and via Zoom webinar. At this time, I ask the public present to please mute your devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There will be 2 opportunities for those present to speak during this meeting. We will advise you at the appropriate times. Linda, please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the November 23rd, 2022 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website.
Great. If you could all please join me, rise to salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan. Here.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Here.
Councilman O'Connell,
Here.
Councilman O'Toole,
Here.
Councilman Sasso,
Here.
Councilwoman Wozinski,
Here.
Mayor Bernstein.
Here. Open the floor for public comment on agenda items only. Anyone from the floor wish to be heard on agenda items? Not seeing anyone. Approval of minutes. We're gonna break them up. Approval of minutes, October 13th, 2022, work in regular session. Everyone can vote. I would request a motion to approve the minutes of the October 13th, 2022 work session and regular session.
So moved.
Thank you, Suzanne. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is approval of minutes, October 27th, 2022, work in regular session. Everyone can vote. So I would request a motion to approve the minutes of the October 27, 2022 work session and regular session.
So moved, O'Connell.
Thank you, Ed. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Suzanne. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is October 17, 2022 work in regular session minutes, and everyone can vote. I would request a motion to approve the minutes of the November 17, 2022 work session and regular session.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is second reading and public hearing, ordinance 22-15. Linda, please read the title of ordinance 22-15.
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on November 17th, 2022, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. Ordinance 22-15, an ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 128-8 of the Code of the Borough of Allendale entitled Additional Required Inspections and Fees.
Great. Open the floor for public comment on ordinance 22-15. Not seeing anyone, I would request a council member to make a motion to move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 22-15. Notice of same shall be published according to law.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Matt and Ed. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Okay, next is introduction of ordinance. So this is going to be as amended. So we are requesting a council member to make a motion to introduce and pass on first reading ordinance 22-16 as amended, as the amendments as reflected by me during the work session, and set the hearing for December 15, 2022 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter in the council chambers of the Allendale Municipal Building.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt.
Second,
Second.
O'Connell.
Thank you, Ed. Linda, please read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call.
I'm sorry. Ordinance 22-16, an ordinance establishing the position of fire administrator for the Borough of Allendale. Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is the consent agenda with which are resolutions 22-250 through 22-258. I would request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Lovasolo.
Thank you, Suzanne. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Great. We completed the committee reports. We did the mayor's report, so we will go to our professionals and staff. Borough Attorney Ray Wiss.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I alluded to this last time that the borough has had quite a bit on its plate over the last couple of months, maybe the last couple of years. And while I never ran track, I think I know the difference between a sprint and a marathon, and it just seems like we're in a marathon, but we're running it at sprint pace. So, in addition to obviously 220 and the water utility sale, busy in a lot of other ways. We've got happenings on the cell tower, been working with the chief on several matters involving the police department, with the chief and Ron on matters involving the fire department, the typical stuff, ordinances and the like, but there is certainly been a lot on the borough's plate. 220, as Councilwoman Wilsinski mentioned, is in a very formative stage, and the meetings there are happening almost daily to try to bring everything finally to fruition. And then, of course, there is the one project that did get mostly to fruition, as Councilwoman Holman mentioned. There obviously is a lot to do post-closing in terms of dotting i's and crossing t's, and but I think to add to the comments that were mentioned is the one motivating factor that I think is probably most important for the public at all times was that Liz was concerned about the water quality for the municipality and the ability to deliver safe drinking water, not only in the present, but for decades to come. And so we talk about PFAS and PFOA and expanding regulations, and Liz educated herself beyond the realm so that when she's speaking to the experts in that area, I think she's half educating them. And then she got to the legal nuances, and I will admit she's educating the attorneys on that. And when she's dealing with the engineers, she's educating the engineers on that. So it really, you talk about a team, but a team doesn't just happen to come together. A team has to be assembled. A team has to have a game plan. And Liz, you did all of that. And I think that was really, really important. And it wasn't just, as I said, the regulations. It wasn't just the fact that as a small municipality, we aren't geared to having a full staff and a full water department to take care of all of the nuances, to deal with the administrative stuff. Those are all cost pluses. Amy did mention that the fortuity, and it was nice to have happen, that as the first one in this area available, and with then Suez, now Veolia, not wanting to have anybody else playing in its backyard. I don't want to say that they overpaid, but they paid a price that was beyond what the projections that we had initially received in terms of valuation. Deal is closed, they can't back out. So I think that was a nice situation. But let's not forget, apart from the PFAS and the millions of dollars that it would have taken in terms of bonded indebtedness from the borough to address those problems, is that you have an antiquated system, normal repairs, and if Ron were here, I'm sure he would lament on that, just taking care of old pipes and old pumps and things like that. So it was in so many ways a win-win. But again, to put together the game plan and then put together the team and then get to the end zone, Liz, you get kudos on that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And thank you for all your work throughout. I could not think, no aspersions cast to borough attorneys across the state or the country, but I could not think of anyone I would rather have in that chair.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Linda?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. We'll go down
You're
the
caught up
line.
on all the minutes.
John?
That's good. You are great.
Everyone's favorite garbage and recycling guide for 2023 is currently in production. Hopefully have the first drafts of that going out to the printer the following week, with the goal of hitting mailboxes between Christmas and New Year's. That's my report.
Great. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
John.
Tyler?
Just congratulations to Liz. It's thanks to her, the professionals and the team, that it's a service that all of our residents use every day. And because the work that Liz and everybody did, we're better off for years to come. So thank you.
Great.
Mention that. Everything else is status quo. We're going to start looking at unifying some of our communication and collaboration platforms over the next couple of months. So we're going to get some pricing on that and see what we can work there to make things more efficient.
Great. Thank you very much. Director of Operations Administrative Officer Ron Kistner is not here. He wish he could. His passing in his family. Our CFO, Alyssa Mayer, is not here as well. But we do have, and we're always happy to see our Chief of Police, Mike Dillon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So typical work, year-end closeouts or reaccreditation mandates. We're working with Director of Operations Ron Kistner on a HVAC facility grant for police headquarters, addressing short-term and long-term concerns of residents. And just to echo the council's comments about the water sale. So I know we focus a lot on the clean water, but in my world, I focus a lot on infrastructure hardening and also fire suppression. So an adequate fire pressure and volume. So it's very important to have a team of professionals, both on a local level and with Veolia, that work together for the safety of our residents. So thank you, President.
Thank you. Public comment. I'm hoping maybe you guys were here just to enjoy the proclamation and see what happens at a council meeting, but on the outside chance that you had something you wanted to say, now is the time. Yes, come on up.
Pleasure, Mark Savastano, 22 Reading Place. I did work out an agreement with Waldwick with regard to the EPS collection that I had proposed, so we won't be needing to use the facilities here on January 7th. Take you off the hook too.
That's great. And Linda, can someone let Ron know? I know he was gonna help
I did
record it.
send him an email.
Okay.
I understand from what was said that he's out because of the death.
Yes, that's correct.
Condolences to Ron. But I did inform him as well as Suzanne.
Great.
I do have copies of the flyer. If I can
Yes, of course.
You get 3 copies of this, or I send you a PDF.
Right.
Suzanne.
And we'll circulate it.
And so that means we won't have any my representation to Rob with that. I want to share services amongst the municipalities so that we don't, duplicate services, which is, I know something the borough stands for.
Right.
So, it will still occur on January the 7th. It'll be open to Allendale as well as Waldwick for the first hour only, and then to all Bergen municipalities beyond that. I didn't see you at the last meeting. Congratulations to Councilmember-elect.
Great.
I did want to ask Ron, the last time I brought up the subject of my favorite piece of sidewalk in town, he promised that would be addressed before winter. So if somebody could pass that along to him, I really would like to get that piece of sidewalk corrected as soon as possible. So I know there were a lot of issues on his
It's
plate.
duly noted.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Great.
I have just one question about I love the fact that we're able to have electronic connect. Did you talk to the high school used to also do one? Do they not? There used to
Not
be. An,
for EPS as far as I know.
okay.
I did reach out to a member of their environmental club
Oh, okay.
to hopefully speak before the
Good.
event, and I had spoken to Suzanne about this. Spelled with an S, by the way, not with a D.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely. It's your name.
I didn't even pay him to say
But
that.
Hoping to speak before them on behalf of the green team, but they haven't responded. So I could try reaching out to them.
Yeah, you can send me an email too. I'm up there. So I just think the kids are usually super helpful.
And I did send an email to you, Liz. I know you've been busy. I'm guessing that my presumption was correct, that the reason we received an early water bill is because the sale was finalized.
Yes, we will be, yes, they'll be billing. I actually think, and I'll email you back. I have to
No, that's
remind
okay.
myself on the timing. To be honest, there has been so much that's been in my brain that I need to remember, but
No,
yeah.
it came out a month early and I said, well, this.
Great. Mark, thank you very much. Thank
Mark,
you
is
for,
it true that styrofoam hunting season begins on the 26th of December?
Yes.
Yeah.
Send their hunting, their stuff.
Okay.
anyone else? Thank you, Mark. Anyone else from the public wish to be heard?
Nobody else wants to congratulate Liz?
No, not seeing anyone. We are going to move to closed session. So, we're going to kick everyone out except, Levi Poole, who's going to be speaking. When we come back, we're just going to come back into regular session at a closed session just to end the meeting. So I promise you aren't missing anything. So with that said, I would ask for a motion to approve resolution 22-249 to authorize the governing body to enter into closed session to discuss pending litigation, current tax appeals.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Linda, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Livasolo,
Yes.
Councilman O'Connell,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilman Sasso,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great, and after roll call, the public should know, as I said, the governing body will be going into closed session at this time, which is 8:16. It's anticipated to reconvene approximately 15 minutes later. You can take as long as you want or as little as you want. Just to adjourn the meeting, no formal action will be taken. Minutes of the meeting will be taken and will be released to the public at the time that the matter is resolved. So, thank you, everyone. Going back to regular session, the time is now 8:46 and regular session has resumed. I would request a motion to adjourn the regular session. All in favor? Thank you.